I genuinely thought I was at 12 to 13% body fat. Well, the DEXA scan said otherwise, and the results were absolutely shocking. Stay tuned to find out. But first, we're going to go into some biological impedance testing to compare the two, some strength, isometric, and explosive power testing before that, and finally end off with the DEXA scan.
So, Peter, you've got a very low body fat percentage.
Body dysmorphia is becoming an epidemic at the moment. Look at guys like Alex Eubank thinking he's fat, even though he's absolutely shredded with an incredible physique. But guess what? He's not alone. I myself have looked in the mirror recently and all I'm seeing are the fat bits. And I'm sure you guys have done the same thing too. The problem is social media is giving us unrealistic expectations, and people are saying, yeah, use vascularity to judge body fat, for example. But the people who we're looking at who are sort of quote unquote 6 to 8% body fat are pumped up full of juice, therefore they're going to be extremely vascular anyway. So what does someone who's natural at 8% body fat look like, or someone who's natural at 10% body fat look like? Well, that's what I wanted to find out, and that's why I've done this video, because yeah, I also struggle with it a little bit. I think everyone who goes to the gym does, and that's absolutely fine. But the realistic expectations are not being met by YouTube and social media at the moment. Now, before we get into the fun stuff, here is my current physique the day after the DEXA scan. Right there, first thing in the morning, unpumped, no breakfast, no gym. What do you guys think my body fat is? Let me know down in the comment section below, take a guess, and let's see how close you are to what the DEXA scan says. My name is Peter, and I'm a qualified and, more importantly, practicing physiotherapist. I do objective testing using this equipment day in, day out on loads and loads of people to get actual numeric values, which makes such a big difference in terms of practice. And sometimes we need to do it on ourselves, and today that's what we're going to do. First things first, right? Let's get on to the biological impedance testing. Most of you guys will have access to this in some manner, either a scale or a lot of gyms I know here in the UK will have these machines, and they don't break the bank. It was like £2 or £2.50 for this test. What did it show? Well, it showed me at 14% body fat and 50% muscle mass. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, when I saw that 14%, I was like, I did not feel great. I was like, come on. I know I've come up a bit from where I was on diet and cut down to, but not that much, surely not. So I did what all evidence-based practitioners do and dive into the research. And what I found was rather interesting. So with the biological impedance in a clinical trial setting, calibrated to a specific person type, phenotype, or individual, they can be quite accurate and pretty good. However, when we get out into the big bad world, things change a little bit. They get calibrated to the general person. Now, people who are really obese and people who are really lean miss out big time, and the results can be almost 5 kilograms off. And I'll quote all the studies down below so you can go click on them and read them out. 5 kilograms off per person in terms of muscle mass and fat mass. So they can be miles off. If you only weigh 50 kilograms, that's 10% off. So on my meanderings through PubMed, looking at all these research articles, a lot of them compared to the DEXA scan. So I thought, why not? Let's look into the DEXA scan. Now I know a lot of people hate on the DEXA scan, Coach Greg being one of them, saying they can be miles off.
I use Coach Greg's laser eyes, as they know, aside from the MRI, it's the most accurate. Other people, they resort to inaccurate things like the DEXA scan.
But actually, the research is looking really promising. There was like a 0.21% difference between the DEXA scan and the MRI scan in terms of accuracy, which is negligible, and the DEXA was slightly more accurate. More so, studies were looking at the DEXA scan on cadaver people, so that's dead people that donate themselves to science, and we really thank them for it. But the DEXA scan showed that actually within muscle mass gains, it was up to 0.5% off, and I'll quote that study down below. It will be linked down below so you guys can go check that out. It's actually quite incredible. Some studies, now not all of them, some studies show the DEXA to be up to 3.5% off, but there was a really well-researched study, well-laid out study, again, I'll put that down below, that showed it within lean tissue to be 0.5 to 2% off, and within body fat to be 1 to 2% off. Those are absolutely incredible results, and those are cadaver studies, so scanning people, looking at dead people and weighing it afterwards, which is probably, in my opinion, one of the most accurate ways of doing it. Now, when we look at impedance, skin folds, all of that, we're looking at 3.5 to 6% off. So those are miles off compared to the DEXA scan. Some people find the DEXA scans so accurate that they're using them to try find new formula for skin folds and ultrasound fat measurements. So they're using the DEXA as the template to measure up the skin fold formula as well as the ultrasound. And again, study down below, read it for yourself. Right, so before we get onto the DEXA itself, I decided I wanted to do some strength testing to get a baseline where I'm at now so that next year this time or in 6 months time I can retest these metrics and actually have values. So we've recently got these Veld force decks which are absolutely insane and you can do so much on them, but I decided to do an explosive movement, the counter movement jump. I decided to do a mid-thigh isometric pull, so like the end top range of deadlift, and then a mid-range squat to look at where my numbers lie. And actually these were quite interesting. So we found that my isometric squat was 193.75 kilograms at 3% left bias. Now my left has been the injured side for ages and there was a bias towards the left side, which is really good. I've been training it hard, I've been doing extra reps on the left hand side. Funny enough, we found that the muscle mass was pretty close on the DEXA too. But anyway, then on the mid-thigh pull, so the deadlift variant, I got 248.2 kilos. Now my max deadlift has been 180 kilos with a 4% right bias, so that's a bit more expected. And then the counter movement jump, I looked at jump height, there's loads of stuff there. It'll all be on the screen for you to see, but my highest jump was 18.7 inches. Where the Veld can come into it if you're competitive like I am, it can put you into a percentile. Now Veld has been mainly used in elite sports over the last couple of years or even 10 years. So their normative data is really skewed towards the athletic and elite sport population, which is quite cool. So for my squat, I was in the 62nd percentile with 99th percentile being the best of the best. For the mid-thigh pull, I was in the 33rd percent. But to be fair, on that movement, I did find my grip was limiting more than anything else. And for the counter movement jump, I was in the 90th percentile, which, I mean, that's quite cool. That's what I sort of expected with explosive movements. I played cricket at a fairly high level in South. Wasn't anything amazing, but pretty high level. I could bowl the ball pretty quick. So it's quite nice to see that the explosive movement was right up there in the 90th percentile. All right, guys, it's the thing we've all been waiting for, myself included, and that is the DEXA scan. And I'm sure the question is, what body fat was I? Well, here's Sarah, handed right over to the professional to talk you guys through the results.
All right, yeah. So Peter, you've got a very low body fat percentage at 8.84%, so happy with that. And then when we have a look at where that body fat is distributed, it's very evenly, that midsection and hips. There's no kind of change there with your ratio being kind of spot on with 1 there.
Very nice.
And then we have a look then at your visceral adipose tissue, which is that, I guess, the
more the organs.
Around the stomach area, which is more dangerous type of fat.
Yeah.
We want that to be 100 or below, and you're at 44.5. So really low risk there when it comes to risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, etc. So that's great to hear.
Very good. Always good to hear.
And then when we have a look at these lean indices, the lean to height measure there is the ratio of your lean mass compared to like your total mass, including all of your organs, your blood, all of that. Yeah. And then we have a look in you're in the 72nd percentile, but then we compare that most importantly to the appendicular lean mass to height ratio, which is the lean mass on your arms and legs, and it excludes then the weight of your organs and everything else. And that then shows that the variance between those two is a better indication of your muscle mass. So slightly a higher percentage there with the lean mass, so indicating that there is muscle there.
Wow.
No. And then if we click across here on this final page here, we can have a look at where that really small body fat percentage is. Where is it exactly, and any imbalances as well between left leg, left arm, right arm.
Yeah.
So if we have a look here, particularly that's probably for you being your lean mass and the muscle there. So we've got like a less than 10% variance between left arm, right arm, and likewise between left leg, right leg, very evenly balanced. Yeah.
Didn't expect that.
No, because we've had imbalances.
So chronic injury on my left. I got osgood slatters there, so reduced torque, but I do extra reps left leg for everything.
So that compensation is showing that it's very evenly balanced when it comes to the muscle mass in both legs there. So what you're doing has worked. So it's lucky you're a physio.
Fair enough.
You've done well.
The previous method of measurement was a tape measure. So
okay. Now you've actually got the quantity of there.
So guys, there you have it, 8.8% body fat, absolutely insane, in the 74th percentile in terms of appendicular, which means muscle mass on the limbs, which is a clear indication of muscle mass. I will take that any day of the week. So stoked. Now, is it 100% accurate? Possibly not 100%, but according to the research, that could be 1 to 2% off. I'll have that any day. I was genuinely thinking I'd gone back to a maintenance level where I could comfortably build muscle. Can I build muscle at 8.84% body fat? Probably not. So I need to up my calories. I need to get to somewhere where I can build muscle more effectively. And it just goes to show, when you look in the mirror, you often look at the fat bits and see the fat bits within yourself, which aren't great. And that's why something like this has really changed my mindset towards my nutrition and training at the moment, which has been absolutely incredible. And looking in the mirror has been a lot better, funny enough. Nothing's changed other than I've seen a metric number. Incredible, isn't it? But I really have to say a massive thank you to Sarah and Numi for having us. All the staff, they were incredible, really professional, and they're based in Norfolk and Holt. So if you guys travel up here for holiday, or if you live in Norfolk, definitely go check them out. The link is the first link in the description down below. Right, now what about the rest of us? What about the people who can't get a DEXA scan? And to be fair, that's the majority of humans. I was really lucky with this one. What do you do? Well, I'm going to show you how to look at your body objectively in the mirror. Alright guys, I'm going to look at my body. I say objectively just because I'm trying to be a bit harsh, but it's all subjective at the moment, but subjectively, but really trying to focus in like I'm looking at someone else. And I suggest you do the same. Take a video of yourself, take pictures of yourself, and chop it off at the head and say, right, I'm going to judge this physique as though I'm looking at a complete stranger. That might help. So as I pop the shirt off, you can clearly see the six-pack. As I flex, you can see some chest striations. A little bit of shoulder vein, maybe slightly, shoulder striations, you can see the obliques, you can see the abdominals, you can see serratus anterior, you can see the forearm muscles quite nicely. Same thing on my other side, so when I flex the other side, again, forearm muscles quite striated there actually, obliques popping, chest striated, looking really good. If we go around to the back, so my posing's not the greatest, but we can see loads of muscles. You can see a Christmas tree starting off at the back. You can see the top of the shoulders where there's slight striations. I probably could be flexing my biceps a bit bigger or a bit better. You can see the cuff muscles surrounding the shoulder blade. You can see the lats. Now, yeah, it's not the perfect physique, far from it. It's not like I can step on a bodybuilding stage anytime soon. But if we look at the lower back, yeah, there might be a little bit of body fat in and around the lower back. But what you're not seeing is crazy vascularity. And we don't expect to see that at 6 in the morning on someone who's natural, completely unpumped. So this is before I started in the gym. This is before my workout. All right, so let's take a look at the legs. As I'm flexing there, you can see each quad separation really nicely. As I flex harder, you can almost see some cross striations in the outer quad, so vastus lateralis. As we go to the side, you can see the IT band and the hamstrings a little bit. You can also see the calves, so you can see the calf separation, you can see soleus. You can possibly see some of the peroneal muscles, especially when I wiggle my foot, but you have to look really close for that on the outside of the leg. Similar thing on the other side. And even at rest, you can see abdominals. So yeah, possible striations in the legs. Then when we turn around and look from the back, again, the calves you can rarely see. Now my posing's terrible, but you can see some hamstring separation there. Definitely visible. Calf separation, some veins in the calves, fair enough, that's my most vascular part. But nothing's popping, nothing's pumped. My tan is shocking because England's been freezing. And that is a realistic physique, especially at 6 in the morning. Now I know I've talked myself up saying, look at the striations and I love that physique. And yes, I do. I have to look in the mirror and say, wow, look at all of those things that you can see, the good bits, because the bad bits, they're a lot easier to see. Like, yes, you can see some fat over the lower abdominals. You can see some body fat over the lower back, maybe a little bit in the arms, but it's not excessive. Yet when I look in the mirror, especially before the scan results, I look in the mirror and see, oh my goodness, I'm so fat. I'm nowhere near as lean as I was 2 months ago. Well, yeah, obviously I'm 4 kilos heavier. I know a lot of that's water, but the thing is, look at yourselves objectively, look at the good bits, really pause it and look and be like, holy crap, that's actually me, that's my physique I'm looking at. That can really help alongside body dysmorphia, and stop comparing yourself to social media. The videos, pictures you see on Instagram, that is the biggest pump. They've sprayed water on themselves, they tanned, looking absolutely insane. A lot of them on PED, so their veins will be popping all over the place. That's not realistic. Compare yourself to someone realistic. Like me, for instance. I'm not excessively massive. I'm in the 74th percentile, which is not incredible. It's not bad, but it's not incredible in terms of muscle mass for people of my height and weight. But look at that, I'm not vascular, there's no veins popping anywhere, especially first thing in the morning at 6:30 in the morning. But yet I'm 8.84% body fat. So that gives you a realistic idea, and trust me, look at the good bits in the mirror. That's going to make such a big difference to how you see yourself, and that's one of the most important things. If you guys are interested in that weld testing, come check us out at North Norfolk Physio. I'll also link our website down in the description below, where you can book a session with myself, with Fiona, with Karen, with any one of our physios. We're all pretty epic, and we'll be able to walk you through that weld testing, which should soon be available on our website. Sorry, my speaking's not too great. But yeah, I hope this video gave you an insight into my brain, at least, and the struggles that I can deal with body dysmorphia. I know luckily my girlfriend's really supportive, thanks Kirsty, because she always tells me I'm not fat and says I've got body dysmorphia and it's all in my head. So that does definitely help a bit. But I really appreciate your time, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you'd like the video, please smash that thumbs up button down below. I'd really appreciate it. And would you consider hitting that subscribe button? If not, please check out some of my other content, and hopefully one of these days I can earn that subscription from you. Until then, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.